If you're stuck replaying what happened in your relationship, what you could have done differently, or you're blaming yourself, this video is for you. The first thing that we need to uncover is guilt versus shame. Guilt and shame sometimes are used interchangeably, but they're actually not the same thing. Guilt is an emotion you feel when you think you've done something wrong. Shame is all about the beliefs that you carry about yourself. For example, I can feel guilty because I didn't return somebody's text message. If I'm looking at it from a shame lens, I can feel shame and think I'm a bad person because I didn't respond to that person's text message. Do you see the difference? Guilt can be motivating. It can help us to evaluate our part in the relationship breakdown, and it can cause us to go inwards and self-reflect. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Shame, on the other hand, is a different beast. If I have a negative self-belief about myself, it can cause me to get stuck. Let's say my belief is I'm a bad person. If I'm walking around carrying that belief, it's going to be hard to find the motivation to go inwards and reevaluate. We're going to be talking about both, but let's start with guilt first. So why does guilt hit so badly after a relationship breaks down? It's because there's two people involved in that relationship, and in most circumstances, both parties have contributed to the relationship breakdown. Not all scenarios happen this way, but most do. This is why we can have tremendous guilt when we reflect back on the relationship to see our part of it and what went wrong. If this is the case for you and you have those feelings of guilt, as I mentioned, it can be an opener to really self-reflect. If you're unsure about how to do that, I do have a starter kit that I'll link in the description with prompts that can help you to go inwards and reflect on what's causing you to feel guilty. Now, when we're able to reflect in a non-judgmental way and really evaluate what happened and what we want to see differently in maybe future relationships, this can be a really powerful healing process for you. Here we want to exercise self-compassion, and we also want to exercise radical acceptance. Radical acceptance sounds like, I may not like what's happening, but I did the best I could given the knowledge that I had. I want you to repeat that out loud to yourself. I did the best I could given the knowledge that I had. Once we're able to practice compassion for ourselves and radical acceptance, that gives way to forgiveness. It can be hard to manage all of these feelings, and many of us aren't taught how to. Give yourself the gift. Download the starter kit, get started, and see where the process leads. If you need help processing your emotions, I do have a course called Feel It to Heal It. Feel free to check it out. I'll link it in the description below. When you give yourself this gift of reflection, it's going to help you shed the guilt and pave the way to self-forgiveness. Now, let's address shame. If we go back to the beginning, shame is when we feel like we are bad. We have a negative self-view of ourselves. What we need to do when it comes to shame is also evaluate, but understand that changing these ingrained beliefs are going to take time. One of the most powerful exercises I get my clients to do when we're dealing with shame, so let's say the belief is I'm a bad person, is to really look for evidence to validate this belief. Usually, we can't find the evidence because you are not all bad or you are not all unlovable. And when we find the evidence that it's not true, it's hard to constantly say those things when there is evidence to the contrary. The other tool that can be really helpful when it comes to combating shame is self-compassion, just like guilt. If you want to learn more about self-compassion, check out this video